Happy January 24th to you out there, folks. It's the Lake Lewis Show. As always, if you want to follow me, you can do so by Twitter at Lake Lewis, on Facebook at Lake Lewis Jr., and of course, you can follow us here at Sports Journey Media, as you see on the screen, via Sports Journey. All you have to do is go to Facebook or Twitter, or YouTube for that matter, and put in Sports Journey. Another day, folks, another freezer for us here. Says right here, as I sit here in Ashburn, Virginia, it says temperatures right now are a comfortable 9 degrees. Listen, folks, it's that cold out here. And thinking about how cold it is for me, the common man, the average man, it just makes me think about how cold it could possibly be for the Super Bowl. I think the two teams that are going to be in this year's Super Bowl, I really do believe are tailor-made for this matchup. If you think about the climates that these teams are playing in, you think of the Denver Broncos coming from the high altitude, practicing in the snow. Peyton Manning himself has even said that he feels like being prepared for this Super Bowl, can go back to what they have to do every day where they live as far as practicing in that cold weather. If you're in Seattle, obviously you're playing in rainy conditions a lot. It's brisk up there in the great Northwest. So these two teams, I truly feel like the weather's not going to play too much of a factor unless you get, blizzard type conditions. If it's cold, I think that they'll be prepared to be able to play in a Super Bowl that I think a lot of people are looking forward to. I know I'm looking forward to this game more than most because when was the last time you saw two teams that clearly were on a collision course to play each other? You can't say that about last year's Super Bowl. You can't say that about the Super Bowl before that. What you had in those Super Bowls were teams, that got hot, that basically, rose to the occasion at the right time. Baltimore did it last year, the Packers before that. Maybe, you can say the Saints were a team that played well that whole year, but people failed to realize and remember that the Saints lost 3 games in a row to end the year, to end the season, so to speak. The year that they won the Super Bowl, they got in the playoffs, picked it back up. Maybe they shut it down early in the regular season. Who knows? Lots of stuff that we'll be talking about today. Obviously, right now we're talking about the Super Bowl. One of the things that I want to do for you out there, the watchers, the listeners, I want to break down units. I want to break down, specific facets of the game and see who I give the edge to today, because we're talking about playing in cold weather. The first cold weather Super Bowl, and I want to say cold weather climate because there were some other games that the temperature wasn't where it was supposed to have been. There's been a 39-degree Super Bowl before. There's been a Super Bowl in the 40s, a Super Bowl in the 50s. So there's been some brisk, chilly Super Bowls, but never a Super Bowl in a climate where you're expecting for it to be cold. 1, 2, you're expecting to possibly have some snow. That's a whole nother element to this game that's never been seen before. And the way it's looking right now here in the East Coast, here in, going up from where we sit in the mid-Atlantic all the way up to New England, it's cold. It's snowy. There's talk of more snow coming Monday, another 10 inches of snow. If that's, possible, we'll see. We also know, living here, that you kind of have to take meteorologists, and we know they do hard work, don't want to not colleagues in the media, but we also take them with a grain of salt, because when they say it's going to be 6 inches, you normally get 1 inch. When they say there's going to be 2 inches, you normally get a foot. So, that's Mother Nature. So no one knows how this is going to play out. But what we do know is that these two teams have 2 really good special teams units. If you're Seattle, you look at Steven Hauschka, your kicker, in the postseason, he's automatic. He's 6 for 6 in the postseason. 7 for 7. And if you look at your punter, John Ryan, he's actually been punting the football quite frequently. 7 punts, 38-yard average. Maybe not the best average in the world. The flip side of it is, if you look at the Denver Broncos, I think that they have probably one of the most underrated special teams units. And the reason for that being is because Britton Colquitt does not have to punt the football. He's punted the ball 1 time in this whole postseason. 1 time. And you think about that. 1 punt. What that means is that offense, as prolific as we know it to be, Peyton Manning and company, they're moving the ball up and down the field against their opponents. San Diego, they moved the ball effectively, and then last week in the AFC Championship game, they moved the ball effectively against New England. They have a great young kicker. I think Matt Prater may be the best kicker in the NFL. He's that good. But a lot of his kicks, when he has had to kick, have won. They've been extra points because Denver scores 7. They always get points. On the flip side, he kicks great, and he has a great place to kick the football in. When he tied the NFL record for 64 yards, he did that where, bam, Maha Stadium. When you're kicking in high altitude, the air's thin there, a 64-yarder there may be a 54-yarder in most places. A 54-yarder may end up being a 50-yarder, 49-yarder if you're kicking in the Meadowlands because of that wind. It's going to be a whole different element for both these special teams units. I think they're both equipped to do well. I'm going to give the edge, though. I'm going to give the edge to Seattle here. I give the edge to Seattle special teams unit, and I do that because I think that they have more cohesion right now. They've had opportunities to perform. Like I said, if you're Colquitt for Denver, you kick the ball one time. That's just not getting a lot of reps. As the flip side is Ryan, he's had to punt 7 times. If you're Matt Prater, you kicked a couple in the AFC Championship game. I think 3 to be exact. And always kicking extra points, so he's not rusty at all. But I do think Hauschka having 7 attempts, 100%. Between both these kickers, you're looking at a 90%, clip right now. You can't complain about that. Hauschka 100% in the postseason, Prater 90% in the postseason. So lots of stuff, folks, that we're going to be breaking down today. We're going to also have on today NFL free agent wide receiver Terrence Austin. Terrence Austin was here in D.C. with the Washington Redskins, briefly was with the Detroit Lions, and he's a young player that I really, truly feel like if he's given a fair opportunity, I think he could be a player in this league. I've talked to a lot of NFL guys that I know, guys that are Pro Bowl players, and they feel like this is a very good young prospect. He just needs to, be in the right place at the right time. It's a lot of politics that's involved in the business, and sometimes you get caught up in not being one of those, coach's guys. That's just the way it is. Maybe you outperform someone that is a coach's guy, and money plays a factor in a lot of things. So we'll talk about that with Terrence. I know he's working hard, getting ready for, this off season, trying to latch on with a team. So when he comes on, we'll break down the life of an NFL free agent. What is he doing to stay better? What are the things that he has to do to continue to pursue his dream of being a top-notch, NFL wide receiver? So more to come when we come back right here, the Lake Lewis Show.
That's a good pour. Frosty glass, perfect amount of foam.
Thanks, Coach.
How's your Bloody Mary?
Spicy?
Wings?
Always fresh, never frozen.
All right. Who's the primary on Spider 2Z Snag?
It's the fullback out of the backfield. If he gets jammed, I'm hitting the flanker on a curl route.
You're good.
I know.
Huddle up at Hooters. Why would you go anywhere else, man?
Attention if you have diabetes.
Hello, I'm Alan Thicke. As the father of a child with diabetes, it's important that I keep up to date with the latest in treatments and technology. That's why I'm happy to tell you about a breakthrough in diabetes care through CCS Medical. You don't need to stick your fingers anymore. This new meter allows you to test on your arm, so it's virtually pain-free. Plus, it uses gold test strips. Real laser-etched gold in every strip provides the ideal testing surface for one of the most accurate readings possible. Best of all, CCS Medical can send you this meter at no cost. With CCS Medical, they deliver your diabetes supplies to your home. They work with Medicare or your insurance to process the paperwork. They even have nurses certified in diabetes available to answer questions. And for a limited time, CCS Medical will also send you a diabetes ID bracelet. All this from a company trusted and recommended by thousands of doctors around the country. Call CCS Medical today.
Want clear skin all over? Well, get set, because Proactive's Deep Cleansing Body Wash is back. And so is free shipping. 2 hot summer deals. Now Proactive clears acne on your face and body, so you feel confident all over and the body wash is yours free when you order Proactive today.
The deep cleansing wash, it really exfoliates the skin. I use that on my arms, my legs, my chest.
My skin was smoother. It got rid of the small little bumps on my shoulders and back.
Proactive has a $40 value, but with today's special offer, pay just $19.95 and your shipping is free. Plus, get the deep cleansing wash free to polish your skin to perfection.
I went out and bought a little spaghetti strap dress, and it was a really amazing feeling.
Act fast and we'll add a free travel size green tea moisturizer. Don't wait. Order Proactive today and get free shipping, but only for a limited time.
Dear Bowflex, I dropped 8 dress sizes, 36 pounds, and all I had to do was walk.
This is the Bowflex Tread Climber Machine, the easiest way to walk and burn up to twice the calories in less time. By combining the motion of a treadmill, a stepper, and an elliptical, you get the calorie-burning benefits of all 3 workouts at once.
I lost 30 pounds in 4 months. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
Call now for your free DVD and information kit. You'll see how the Tread Climber burns up to twice the calories of a treadmill. Plus, you'll learn how you can own a Tread Climber machine today with special financing for 18 months.
Within the first couple of weeks, I started to lose inches. I lost 50 pounds in 3 months using the Tread Climber.
Call or go online to buytc.com for your free info kit. We'll also send you the Bowflex Insider's Guide with a personal fitness assessment to help you jumpstart your Bowflex body today. Absolutely free.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bowflex.
Sincerely, J.D. Weber.
Car owners, does your vehicle have less than 120,000 miles on it? Is it less than 10 years old? Is your current auto warranty about to expire? Well, Cover America Auto Care has a very special offer just for you. With current economic conditions causing bankruptcies and a downturn in new car sales, Cover America Auto Care now offers inexpensive mechanical breakdown coverage direct to the public. You can save thousands of dollars on auto repairs. A toll-free line has been made available so car owners can call and get a free no-obligation quote. This auto protection is backed by an A-rated insurance carrier. Plus, you get a claims department that has an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. 24-hour emergency roadside assistance is also included. You will be amazed at how much you can save on future car repair bills. So call for your free, no-obligation quote now. Do not wait. Get covered today and rest easy tonight.
Just getting ready for this Super Bowl this year. I'm telling you, I'm excited. I haven't seen the excitement for a Super Bowl like this in a long time. I mean, last year we were excited in this region because the Baltimore Ravens aren't too far away from Washington, D.C. There are a lot of Ravens fans down this way. I covered that team before, so I know, just the fans, the love that they got. So people were excited regionally here. But I think nationwide, yeah, maybe not. You either a 49er fan or you're a Ravens supporter, or you just wanted to see a good football game. This year, though, it's a little different. Make no mistake about it. I mean, this is, without question, one of the most anticipated Super Bowls in a long time. I'm going to go back and say probably one of the most anticipated Super Bowls going back to maybe, Denver versus Green Bay. Where you had Brett Favre, John Elway. That was a matchup a lot of people were looking forward to see if Denver, if Elway could finally get one. Were they able to beat the defending champion at the time? Green Bay were going back to the Super Bowl to see if they could do it 2 years in a row. The irony was that Denver beat Green Bay, and then Denver goes on and wins the following year against Atlanta. They win 2 in a row. But this year's Super Bowl, with the possibility of snow, extremely cold weather in New York, first outdoor cold climate game, Super Bowl. I think that this is something that is kind of captivated the country right now. The NBA right now, we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. They're in a situation where the All-Star game's coming up. You're going to have some new first-year starters in the All-Star game for the NBA, some younger players that have never played in that game. So that's a good opportunity to brand some new faces. But this game has the element of the known. And the known in the NFL is that Peyton Manning's the man. That Peyton Manning's one of the best players to ever play the game of football in history. Is he the greatest quarterback? I think a lot of, this game, the outcome of this game, I think has a lot to ride on what the perception is. Because the perception is that Peyton Manning probably should be considered the greatest of all time, but he hasn't won in the postseason. He just hasn't. This year's Denver Broncos team, one of the best teams that, he's ever played for, let alone that's ever played, period. All the records would show that maybe offensively, this may be the greatest offensive team ever, at least passing-wise, ever. He has all the numbers, broke Tom Brady's single-season touchdown record, yards record. He did it all this year. If they do not win this game, it's still going to leave a lot of us scratching our head. It's going to leave a lot of us wondering, is Peyton really that guy? I think you want to give it to him, but you want to see him earn it as well. And when you mean by earn it, you mean by trophies. Unfortunately, yes, we live in a society where you've got to win, and you've got to win big in order to be considered the best. Same thing, you see a guy behind me right now on the monitor, LeBron James, something he was going through for a long time. Until you won something, you were never going to be, quote unquote, the king. That's just the way it was. So lots of storylines. And as I said, we're going to break down something going into next week, the week leading up into the Super Bowl. We're going to break down, again, the wide receivers. Who do you give the edge to? I think that's a no-brainer. But who are you going to give the edge to, as far as defensively? Who are you going to give the edge to as far as defensive line play, as far as linebackers, as far as, secondary, as far as offensive line, running backs? We're going to break all this down. Coaches, fan base. We're going to break it all down, folks, next week. So get ready for Super Bowl week next week. It's going to be a lot going on here. Real quick, want to give a quick, update, quick programming announcement that next Friday, if you live here in the Washington metropolitan, Baltimore, greater Baltimore area as well, we're going to be in Columbia, Maryland at Champs Americana Restaurant. Great venue there. Great food, man. I can't look for, oh my God, just thinking about it. I can't do it on the air because I'm going to lose it. The food there is unbelievable, but we will be there next Friday from 7 to 9, Sports Journey remote with myself. I'll be there hosting the show. We'll have, I think, Chris Thompson from the Washington Redskins will be up there. I have some other folks coming as well. So next week we'll give you all the pertinent information, but definitely come on out. We have a good time when we do our remotes, and as always, we have a great fan base that comes out, travels wherever we go. They come out, especially in this market. So, last month we were up in Philadelphia. PA did a remote up there. Michael Bamiro, what's up for the Philadelphia Eagles? Had a great time up there. So, we're trying to get around, folks. We're trying to do this, let people see all the great things that we're doing here at Sports Journey. Great group of people. As you will see when you come out to the events, we're all out there. At least the East Coast folks, people on the West Coast, Jeff Little and company, they're going to be getting their stuff up as well, as far as some of the remotes where you get a chance to see them out in public. So, again, we appreciate all the continued support here of Sports Journey Media. Think about what we're going to witness here in a week. Think about just the magnitude of, I think, the ratings. The ratings for this game are going to be off the chart. They're going to be somewhere we've never seen them. They're going to be in the stratosphere, definitely, because people are going to watch this game with an eye towards the weather. You can't escape it. You can't get around it. It is what it is. People are going to want to see, is it going to be snowing? Is it going to be a blizzard? Is it going to be extremely cold? Is this Arctic vortex that we're dealing with here on the East Coast, where people are dealing with it everywhere, but it's extremely cold here? Is it going to really, affect the outcome of the game? So I think there's going to be a lot of viewers and a lot of people watching this game specifically with that in mind. And then, of course, there are going to be, the people who are going to be watching the game because they're great fans, that they're hardened football fans. They want to see what we think is going to be a great game. And then there are going to be people like myself in the media who are going to be cold up in New York. That's just the way it is. There's no getting around this one. So I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see if Peyton can get this thing done. I'm excited to see if Russell Wilson rebounds, because he didn't have a good NFC Championship game. He really didn't. He made the plays at the end of the game that he needed to make, and that's what, you call a winner. Guy that, may not play great for 3 quarters, but in, the quarter that matters at the end of the game, he's getting it done. And he's done that a lot this season. So it's not like he just found a way late in that game against San Francisco to pull something out. He's done this quite a bit throughout this season, kind of becoming a captain comeback type player. And it's going to be interesting to see how he rebounds from a subpar NFC Championship game. Still good enough to get him in that big game. But if he plays well, I think the outcome could be something that maybe some people aren't expecting. I'm not going to give you my predictions yet, but unless something changes my mind, I already know who I'm going with. But you have to wait till this time next week in order to find out who my predictions are. Marshawn Lynch, another guy that people are going to want to see in this game. Marshawn Lynch, he's had 100 yards in both both postseason games against New Orleans, and then last week, obviously, NFC Championship game against San Francisco, and ran the ball effectively last week. After the first quarter, they kind of went back to what they do, and that's run the football, that's get physical and play great defense, and that's what you saw Seattle do. There was no way that game was going to turn out to be a shootout. It was going to be just a physical, just a grudge match, and that's what you saw. I thought it was a great football game. I thought the officiating was horrific. I thought last week's officiating in that game was some of the most atrocious officiating that we've witnessed. And I understand those guys have a tough job, meaning officials and all sports for that matter. It's a tough job. But if those are supposed to be the three best, crew that you could offer for the NFC Championship game, somebody dropped the ball because they sure did several times. And then, needless to say, just a terrible blown call when you see Navarro Bowman go down with the tragic looking injury, and hopefully he recovers from that. But the man laid on the ground for literally 2-3 seconds with the football before the scrum started, and they still couldn't review that. So that's something the NFL, I'm sure, going to take a good look at as far as changing some of their rules and changing some things there in the offseason. Unfortunately, it took a great player, a guy that you can market as one of your, preeminent players as far as his position in the league. It takes him to get hurt in order for people to wake up and see that that's, something that should be changed as far as that bad rule or that, just terrible officiating job. So anyway, not to get negative. We try not to do that here on the show. We try to stay away from that. If you're just joining us for the first time, as always, you see right here on the screen that you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook, as well as YouTube. Watch the videos, previous shows that are up there as well. All you have to do is go to Sports Journey. Just put that word in, Sports Journey. It'll take you where you need to go. If you want to follow me on my personal Twitter, it's Lake Lewis. On Facebook, it's Lake Lewis Jr. Predictions for the Super Bowl. We're not going to worry about that yet, but I want you to think about long and hard. I want you to think about this weekend leading into next week, because next week we're going to try to break this stuff down to give you everything you need to know as far as what team you should take and why you should take that team. But I want you to think about it this weekend. Last year, San Francisco, Baltimore, I think most people thought that game was going to be up in the air. I think a lot of people think this game will be up in the air, but I don't think people really understand what type of game it's going to be. Most people thought last year that the Ravens-49ers game was going to be a lot of points. I know people were saying, they had great defenses, but they really were giving up points going into that game. You think of San Francisco and, the games that they had played, they were giving up points in the playoffs. So you knew that Super Bowl was going to be high scoring. This one, to me, has the making of a low-scoring football game. I understand you have that prolific offense, but you have a really good defense on the other side, the best in the league, if you're outside of San Francisco, people say. However, this game, because of the weather, as we talked about earlier, because of the fact that both defenses are pretty good. I know Denver's defense had been giving up points, but they've stepped up in the playoffs big time. They've gotten some great contributions, some great performances out of some of the guys on their team. So, they're getting it done right now. I think that this game has the makings of a low-scoring football game. Will that alter what you want to see? I don't think so. I think most people want to see just a good football game. And me, I want to see an old school football game anyway. I don't like the 30, 40-point games. I hate it. I despise them. I want to see, 10, 13, 14-point games, because that means, it's crunch time. It means that people are getting it done on both sides of the ball. I want to see that type of game, and I think we're going to get that. So, look, folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to move on here a little bit. We'll start talking about some of those young all-stars that we talked about as far as the NBA. I think the NBA is in a good situation right now where, unfortunately, you see Kobe Bryant hurt. You see Dwayne Wade, dealing with, just sitting out some games, making sure he's okay come playoff time. But you're getting a chance now to see some of the younger faces in the NBA, the faces that are going to carry the league forward after these guys retire in the next few years. So now, you're going to see that displayed for this year's All-Star game. I think for the first time in a long time, this year's All-Star game is going to have, probably 60% of both teams' rosters of guys that I don't think are household names to, the average fan. If you're a hardcore basketball fan, you know all these guys. You know they're great players. You remember them in college being great as well, so you knew these things were going to come up. You knew that they were going to be these type of players. However, if you're the average fan, common fan, you may not know these guys. So I think when we come back, we'll break down some of the guys that are on this year's NBA All-Star team. Might surprise you. Hang tight. We'll be back.
Let me tell you some of the reasons people get into trouble with credit cards. A job loss or salary cut, an unexpected expense, a divorce, a business loss, or even helping a family member or friend in need. At Consolidated Credit, we understand that debt problems are not about overspending. It's about emergencies and unexpected situations. Consolidated Credit has helped over 5 million people, just like you. The options for getting out of debt have never been better. We can reduce your interest rates, cut your monthly payments, and help you get out of debt fast. The time to call Consolidated Credit is now. There are a lot of ways to get into trouble with debt. There's only one trusted way to get out: Consolidated Credit. When debt is the problem, we're the solution.
Call Consolidated Credit now.
Call toll-free 1-800-426-6016. That's 1-800-426-6016. Call now.
Medical emergencies.
This is Life Alert. Are you okay?
I've fallen and I can't get up.
I'm calling for help right now. Sharon, we received a smoke signal coming from your kitchen. Get out now. We're calling the fire department.
Home invasion. Emergencies away from home.
I'm trying to get to my car, but it's still a ways away.
I'm right here and we'll stay on the line with you and we can contact the police if necessary.
And you can have this protection away from home for just $19.95 per month.
If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Life Alert saves a life from a catastrophe every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-830-1951. That's 1-800-830-1951. Call now 1-800-830-1951. For a free brochure, call 1-800-830-1951.
Welcome to Hooters. Right this way. Wednesday is Wings Day at Hooters. Get 10 boneless wings and fries for just $6.99.
Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Are you worried about home foreclosure? Does it seem like the bank has no interest in helping you save your home and there is nowhere to turn? Then the Homeowners Relief Line could be your answer. Homeowners Relief Line can help save your home. We specialize in foreclosure assistance, and that's all we do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Homeowners Relief Line now. Homeowners Relief Line has a network of attorneys, and our agents are available to speak to you right away. Remember, if you are behind on your mortgage payments, Homeowners Relief Line can help stop the foreclosure process. Call today before it is too late. New laws are in effect that may save your home. So call Homeowners Relief Line now.
Call 800-749-8070. That's 800-749-8070.
NCAA women's basketball. All day, every day, our game. Filling it up, knocking them down, and bringing it home. It's basketball at its purest. Family fun and great entertainment, there's nothing like it. NCAA women's basketball. All day, every day, our game.
All right, folks, welcome back. Lake Lewis Show. As promised, we're going to bring in NFL free agent wide receiver Terrence Austin. Terrence Austin was a guy that I'm familiar with, played here with the Washington Redskins, moved on, played with the Detroit Lions, and this is one of those young players that I feel like if he's given a legitimate opportunity to be successful, he will be. I think he's a great young talent. So let's bring him on now. What's going on, Terrence?
Oh, nothing much, man. How you doing?
Hanging in there. Cold weather, as always. You know, we're trying to see how this Super Bowl is going to turn out. Is it going to be inclement weather? But I'm sure where you're sitting out there in California, it's nice and lovely.
Yeah, man, it's luxury out here, man. It is. I mean, I hate to hear that, you know, that the weather's bad out there for you, man, because I'm enjoying every bit of this nice sunshine out here.
Yeah.
It's been like 70-something degrees on the average out here.
Yeah, they're talking about possible snow here tomorrow, so we can't escape it, man. You know, it's just the way it is right now, so it is what it is. Listen, you know, my segment before I brought you on here, you know, I was talking about special teams play, and you know, I feel like you know, this is a game that two teams that, as far as the Super Bowl, that are used to playing in inclement weather. I mean, if you're in, you know, Seattle, you're used to playing in wet conditions up there. It rains a lot. If you're Denver, you know, you're used to playing in the, you know, high altitude, let alone, you know, cold weather there. It snows a lot in the mountains. So, you know, I think these two teams are well equipped for what possibly could be, you know, some sloppy weather in New York for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. You know, the weather's going to play a big part of the game, you know, obviously. You know, snow, you know, definitely you can say that Denver is acclimated to that. And, you know, they should be able to, but you can't, you know, really say that Seattle isn't going to be ready for that either, because they deal with some rough weather up there in Washington all the time. So it's still going to be interesting to see. Exactly,
folks. Terrence Austin joins me right now. He's in gorgeous Los Angeles, California. You know, when you look at this game, I've said this. I think this is going to be the first time in a long time where you have two teams that were built to win the Super Bowl. Make no mistake about it. Before, you know, the season started, Seattle and Denver were picks for a lot of people as far as getting to this year's Super Bowl. So there really was no surprises that came out. You know, last year Baltimore, I think, surprised some people as far as the run that they had. But this year, there's no secret that these two teams were well equipped to get to this game. Are you excited about watching this as a player yourself?
Yeah, I am. You know, it's going to be interesting. You know, you got the Legion of Boom, you know, with Seattle, and you're going to see this high-octane pass attack from Peyton Manning, man. So it's definitely going to be a good matchup, I think. You know, I think that Richard Sherman will finally get somebody that he can, you know, call and, you know, see in his eyes as a challenge.
Sure.
You know, I say that jokingly because I know him, and I know the type of guy he is. You know, by the way, he's a great athlete, man. And, you know, I'm just happy to see him, you know, make it to where he is now. But, you know, it'll be interesting, man. You know, a good receiving core in Denver, you know, against the good defense that Seattle has. And, you know, man, you know, it's going to be really rough, you know, for Seattle offensively if they're not able to get Marshawn Lynch started early. So,
yeah,
I can't wait to actually see that.
You know, I was going to ask you about, you know, Richard Sherman, because obviously you're, you know, a Pac-10 alum or Pac-12 now. You played in the Pac-10, but the Pac-12, you know, he was at Stanford. You were at UCLA. Did you actually go up against him at any time?
Yeah, man, I went up against him a few times. We actually started off our rival in high school. You know, me and him know each other. He's from the Compton area. I'm from the Long Beach area. You know, and our high schools had a deep down rival in football and basketball. So, you know, it carried over to college. You know, he went to Stanford, and I didn't see him for the first 2 years because he was on the offensive side. So, you know, he made his move to corner. That, you know, that goes to show you how good of an athlete he is.
Yeah.
And you know, we continued our rival from there on out. But you know, good guy, man. Very smart, very intelligent. Just an all-around good player, man. You know, I'm really happy to see him be where he is right now.
Do you think that all the negativity that's coming his way because of, you know, kind of a meltdown a little bit as far as after the game, you know, NFC Championship game? I mean, he's a competitor. He was heated. You know, he felt like he was disrespected. and guys react differently. But I think that sometimes people don't look at what guys do off the field. This guy does a whole lot in the community. I'm sure you can vouch for this in Southern Cal that, he's loved there for what he does with kids in the community. And I think that sometimes that stuff gets overlooked or it doesn't get looked at all because people are portraying this guy as being a thug, and that's just not the case.
Yeah, well, the first thing, people, I got so much to say about this subject, because it really bothered me. Knowing who he is, I wasn't trying to be biased or anything about it, but just knowing who he is, if anybody sat down and did their homework on Richard Sherman, they would know that he probably, I'm pretty sure that this is correct, but he graduated second in his class in high school. I mean, he was a valedictorian. Goes to Stanford, which is one of the most prestigious schools in the country.
Yeah.
He graduates with a master's degree in 4 years there, and I think he had like a 3.7, 3.8 GPA there. And just because he lashes out the way he did, and they hear he's from Compton, he's a thug. Not everybody's a thug that's from the hood. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm from the hood,
I'm from the hood.
I made it out all right. You know what I mean?
So,
I went to UCLA. I graduated with honors there. So, it's a fact that, some people don't really do their homework, and a lot of times, you get the stereotype. That just isn't cool. And, I'm like you, if they looked out and seen what he did in the community, they have a different outlook on the guy. And, more people respect the fact that he's passionate about the game the way he is if they understood him.
Well, the other thing, too, is I think for everybody that's complaining about him, there's a little bit of jealousy there. That's what that is, because let's face it, there's 31 other teams in the NFL that would happily make this guy one of their starting cornerbacks. So, don't believe the hype sometimes. I hate to say it because this is the job that I'm in to, kind of hype things up. But I hate especially when I see, African American players just being, attacked in so many different ways. Because I said this on last week's show, and maybe it rubbed some people the wrong way. If it did, sorry, you can watch something else. Find another show to look at. But my theory was this. The same week of the NFC Championship game, there was a brawl in hockey, a major brawl that literally from the time the puck hit the ice, Calgary and Vancouver, they obviously two Canadian teams, and Canadians love seeing rough tumble hockey. They love fighting. Well, I've said this before. I didn't hear anybody calling those guys thugs at all, and they say that's just part of the game. Well, trash talking is part of the game too, and part of a lot of pro games. Guys just do that. That's just the way it is. But if you know the history of maybe certain players' rivalries, sometimes those things do go beyond borders, of just the field. And I think I think that was a situation with Richard Sherman and Michael Crabtree.
Oh man, well, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, like I said, I've known Richard for 10 years now. Maybe longer than that. That's the first thing that comes to mind when somebody mentions Richard Sherman. That's what comes to mind. He talks a lot of trash. But the thing is that the culture of football that me and Richard come from, that's what you do. That's what you do. That's another part of your game. And all it does is it boosts your confidence in the player and yourself, and it makes you play harder. It makes the competition that much more greater with that phase of the game. And some people just aren't used to that. There's different types of players. And he's very intelligent, so he's going to still be talking when he gets off the field. His face is going to be everywhere because he has that gift, and he's going to be very attractive to people, out in the industry or, in commercials and stuff like that because he's an outgoing person, so that is him. That is him. And that's the type of person he is. That's the type of player he is for the most part. And, people just have to understand that there's different types of players when it comes to football.
Well, I'll say this. He's making money. He's going to make more money being this way. And outside of the fact of that is that he backs it up. I mean, we're talking about the best in the business. And, I know today Darrelle Reeves came out and said that he's the best and not Richard Sherman. So, it's just, listen, what do you expect, though? People are like, well, why is he saying that? You're competitive. You're going to feel like you probably feel like you're the best receiver in the league. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, if you don't have that belief in yourself, then you're in the wrong profession. So,
oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
I think people just see it the wrong way. So, folks, right now talking with NFL free agent wide receiver Terrence Austin. He's a guy that I said before, if he gets a fair opportunity, and this isn't to knock coaching staffs or anything like that, but, there's a political side to the game that, I think the casual fan really isn't aware of. They'd look at it like if a guy's not playing or if he's bouncing around that, maybe he's just not good and he should give it up. That's not the case at all. There's been some Hall of Fame players. There's been some players now that are going back to multiple Pro Bowls that were caught up in a numbers game. Wes Welker comes to mind right off the top, returning punts in Miami. Now he's doing great things, has a chance to win a Super Bowl, another one. So this is a guy that, had to wait his time. And I think Terrence is, one of these players that's sitting in that type of situation. For everybody listening right now, Terrence, what do you do right now to keep yourself in shape, keep yourself prepared mentally, for that next opportunity that I'm sure you're going to get?
Oh man, I'm staying in shape. I'm working out every day. That's the most important part. Because if a team gives me a call, decide they want to give me an opportunity, I gotta be on top of my game. I can't, be idle and waiting on the calls, and not doing anything. I have to make sure that I'm prepared, because at any given moment I can get a call and they'll be like, hey, we want to work you out. We want to see what you're looking like. We want to see if you're in any kind of shape.
Yeah.
And, I can't go out there and just pass up on the opportunity because I'm not in shape.
Right.
So I'm making sure I'm at it every day, catching footballs, staying in the weight room, I'm running. I'm just making sure I'm ready when the opportunity does come. Because I believe, I know it'll come. It should come. There's too many people out there that know how good I am.
Mm-hmm.
And, the opportunity is going to fall in place.
I'm looking at, some footage right now and, just to see the contrast of your days with the Redskins. You put on some size, since then. Your speed looks like it's increased as well. But it's the small nuances of the game that I think are the important things, route running. If you're a wide receiver out there, this guy will tell you. Sometimes it's not who's the fastest guy. Or, sometimes it's little things like who can get off the ball, who knows how to break out their routes. How much of the game have you learned going through these whole processes?
Well, I must admit, that being on two different teams and being able to learn from, a different group of people, different set of coaching staff, even working out with a receiver guru out here in California, I've been able to take a little bit of everything and piece it together.
Mm-hmm.
I learned from Santana Moss, for 3 years, studying and being behind him there and filling in for him when he broke his hand, from Santana to Calvin Johnson and Nate Burleson, when I was over in Detroit, I couldn't do anything but learn how to be good, from those guys. So, it's a little bit of everything, with being somewhere and being able to pick up from other guys and just looking at my weaknesses and working on my craft when I'm at home. And, I can honestly say that that's what it is.
Now, when that opportunity comes, you'll be all better for this. Have you, and I'm sure some of this stuff you may not be able to talk about. I understand this, strategies and all this stuff, but I'm looking and I'm seeing, Kyle Shanahan getting a second interview in Baltimore. And I think it would be a great fit for Baltimore. I think it would be a great fit personally because you're a friend of mine and you'd be not, a lot closer than California. I can say that, but are those little things that you think about, that this is a guy that knows your game and was very high on you here in DC, but it was just, politics as usual. Do you monitor things that are going on like that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that I definitely gotta pay attention to. ultimately it's not up to me, where I land
Right.
as far as, picking a place to go until, I get a call from someone, so, those are things that I definitely pay attention to. It sucks when a coach, obviously is moved from, one place to another, but, sometimes as a player it kind of helps because these coaches land, everywhere throughout the league. They kind of spread out. And, if they had felt a certain way about you, then you go from just that one team being somewhere you could have been to, there's 3 or 4 teams now that you can probably get a look from because somebody, likes you, and felt like you had an opportunity to be good or opportunity to contribute to the team in a certain way. So, I definitely pay attention to all of that.
Folks, right now we're talking with NFL free agent wide receiver Terrence Austin. When you go back to your town, this is a guy that I said before that if LA were to get another football team, this guy should be the first person in line. As much love as he spews from that area out there, I'm sure he would love playing in his own backyard as well. And there's a lot of talent out there that could make a team in Los Angeles viable real quick. But I'm sure you would be that would be something that would be kind of fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, man, it definitely will be fun, man. California is, obviously one of the best places in the United States to be, man, as far as weather. The market is crazy here in Southern California and LA. I don't know if you've heard about the new indoor arena team that they have out here, but the Kiss has bought an arena team.
Wow.
And they're called the LA Kiss here, so it's going to be a pretty big thing for them, and they're taking advantage of the market out here. And it's it's on a smaller scale, but it's just definitely a look at what it could be for an NFL team if they were able to come back out this way. The Raiders. I don't even think the Raiders would probably even make it back out here. I don't even think that would even be right, man. As many Raiders fans we have here, we got more Raider fans here than
Oakland.
They do in Oakland, man. It's crazy. But it would be nice, man, to get a team here. I'll tell you that. The only thing that'll suck, man, we might have to build double or triple decker freeways because the traffic out here is crazy.
Yeah. That was going to ask you. You look at some of the other big time college programs. And obviously, when I was in Miami. The joke used to always be that if the Dolphins were playing for a Super Bowl and the U were playing for a national title, people would be more concerned about the U. Do you feel like right now, especially with the emergence of your school, UCLA has come back, and a lot of your guys, a lot of you, as Bruins, keep telling USC right now that we run LA. But I guess my question is, if there was a professional team in Los Angeles in the NFL, do you think they would be kingpin over a winning UCLA or a winning USC team?
I think that it could be. And it definitely depend. If like I said, man, if the Raiders ever came back down here, it would be unbelievable. I couldn't even really tell you how crazy that would be.
So you were a Raiders fan growing up?
No, I've been a Steelers fan all my life.
Okay.
Steelers fan, yeah, but there's Raiders fans, man, everywhere around here, man. I'm telling you, there's more Raider fans here than there are in Oakland. I'm trying to tell you, man.
Wow.
You wouldn't even understand. You would have to see. You would have to see, man. But,
wow.
I think that it would take over. SC has, I must say, SC has been more dominant the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And UCLA is in West LA, but they control most of the Pasadena area because that's where the stadium is.
Mm-hmm.
SC's stadium is literally, might as well say it's on campus in South Central LA, man. So, they're running it right now. They're running LA, as far as the mass majority, but we say we got the key to the city right now because we've been beating up on them the last couple of years, man, and it feels so good. It feels so good. I gotta throw that in there.
Hey, they have a quarterback, UCLA quarterback that's coming out that I think I think it'll be a steal. I really do. Was it Henley or something? I think they have an opportunity to have some good representation out there. They had some great linebackers this past year. Folks, we're talking with Terrence Austin, who's one of the all-time greats at UCLA. If you show up on campus, do you still get love right now?
Yeah, man. I've never been that type of guy, but it's crazy because when I left, I felt like I didn't get when I was there, I felt like I didn't get enough love, because and other guys was like on posters and billboards and stuff, and I'm like, man, like I wish I was up there, like my jerseys was getting sold, and nobody bought my jersey because they didn't have it for sale.
Wow.
The quarterback, obviously, he's the quarterback, so his jersey's gonna get sold. And, but I come back, man, and they got pictures, of me up in the locker room and all throughout the football center, man. And, it just feels good. I left a good impression there on the school. I got 2 records that are there that's standing tall, man. So, I'm getting love still, man. People show me a lot of love. I got people, man, that see me in LA. And LA is, if you don't play for the Lakers or the Clippers, man, nobody really cares so much about you because that's where it's at. But if they notice you, that means a lot. And people been noticing me out, and that's important to me. So I know that I did something good.
I think it might be the company you used to keep, man. You were boys with Deshaun Jackson. You were boys with Russell Westbrook. That's high regards right there, man.
Yeah, man. It's one of those things where you can't help that. I went to school with Deshaun and high school with Deshaun, and me and him was playing on one side, I was playing on the other side. So we had a nice little dynamic duo that a lot of people remember because we did a lot of terrorizing. And then Russ, man, we went to school together, at UCLA. We hung out, me, him, and his cousin was my roommate, so we spent a lot of time together. So I guess so, man.
Yeah, it's the company.
A lot of people that way.
I was gonna say, man, the company you keep, you gotta be careful sometimes, Hey, but look, not a lot of people can say, that they've had some influences on those type of people as well, And I say this all the time, folks. We're talking about this guy's athletic, accolades, but again, Terrence Austin was a guy that I say this all the time, Ronald Reagan recipient, as far as academics. This guy stayed in the classroom and did what he was supposed to do. And that's why, I say this all the time, sincerely, that's why you want to see good people get ahead, man, because, the stories of a guy, let's be honest, young black male coming out the hood, people naturally look at it like you came out because you could play football. But I think that they sometimes don't understand that you worked equally as hard in the classroom. And I think that, naturally you're a football player, so that's what people are going to see first. But I think that when people realize that, you were getting it in as far as your books, that's impressive. That's equally as impressive.
Yeah, man. I had to find an avenue, some kind of way, man, to keep me, out of the mix. I almost got caught up, but I thank God, man, that it was something there for me to pull me out of the mix, and football was my avenue, and I chose I could have went to SC, but I wanted to get out the hood, so that's why I ended up going to UCLA. I didn't have to leave campus because it had its own village.
Yeah, man, I hear about that.
Town was nice, man. So, hey, I just spent time there in West LA, Hollywood area, and man, just took care of business, and got out of there, man. That was the plan.
I'm gonna put you on the spot here before we wrap this up. Again, folks, talking with Terrence Austin, NFL wide receiver. Listen, you played here for a couple of years, lots of love. You and myself, Terrence Austin show used to be right here on Sports Journey. But you had a great fan base, and you remember the shows we did. People would come out, and just be supportive. So my question is, new coaching staff here, and this is a team that is, in my opinion, as a media person that covers them, and other media people will tell you the same thing. They're void at wide receiver, So my question is, if there's an opportunity for you to come back here, would you be welcome to that?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I enjoyed it there in DC. And I'm still familiar with the few coaches that I left there on the coaching staff, and I had a good relationship with every one of those guys. So I don't have a problem with coming back to DC, man. Who could pass up that opportunity? The team, man, I think is drenched with talent. There's a lot of talent there. They got an opportunity to go somewhere, and with Robert Griffin as a quarterback, he's gonna make some things happen, man. So I would love to come back. I would come there to drop a hat, man, without a doubt. So hopefully, I get another opportunity to come back and play, and if it's with, Washington, man, it will be even that much sweeter because that was my first place, and I missed that place. I went back this summer, man, and I didn't realize how much I missed it until I got out there, and I was just like, man, I really liked it out here. The fan base is great. I did some stuff off the field that I really started getting going, before I left. And I would love to go back and, mingle with the kids and stuff that I did things with again. And, just basically make it home all over again. So I would love to, man. I really would.
And it's impressive to hear, somebody, from the West Coast, specifically from gorgeous weather, saying that they want to come back here. I think if you were to drop down here right now, you might rethink that because
man, look, let
it's brutally cold.
Quick, man. It's a little funny story. We played my senior year in college. We played our bowl game there against Temple at RFK Stadium, and it was the year that I think you guys had that blizzard.
Yeah, man. Don't remind me of that.
I've never been to D.C. ever. I've never been to D.C. before. So I get there, and, it's snow everywhere, man. It's freezing, and we're practicing out there. I've never been anything like that before. And I come back, and I was just hissing the fit, telling people, I don't ever want to go back to D.C. I hate it. I never want to go there. I don't like that place, man. 6 months later, my name goes across the drive board of getting drafted to the Washington Redskins. I like to die, man. I couldn't. Man, I was like, no. But man, I got out there, man, and I spent 3 years there, man, and I loved it. Never had a white Christmas before. Never got an opportunity to experience 4 seasons. Here in California, man, it's summer and spring. That's all you get. Well, in Southern California, it's summer and spring.
Wow.
And there, man, it was cool. It was pretty cool, man. To get the opportunity. And I'm from the city, so
yeah,
living in the Reston area, Asburn area was a lot different than living in out here, the LA area, man. So it was different, but I grew to like it, man. And I don't have a problem with the cold anymore. You can see I spend time there, and then I spend time in Detroit. So
hey,
I think I'm a little used to the cold weather now.
Hey, yeah, if you're getting a check, man, anything can be warm.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I can go buy me some stuff to wear.
Exactly. Well, listen, man, we're going to have to make it work. We're going to have to try to do something to get you here. And, I'm going to see if I can make some calls. I got, got a little contacts up there at the park, see what we can do. Because, again, I've said this before, and I can separate friendship from reality, and I think sometimes people think, oh, well, Lake, you know these guys so well. I do know that, and you and me have history, our families have history, but at the end of the day, I also know talent when I see it. And I've said this for a long time, politics should not be part of athletics. Unfortunately, this happens, goes down to high school. I had to deal with that in high school, had to deal with that in college as well. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to win, you got to put the best players on the field. And I think, with that being said, I think the Redskins have a lack of talent at wide receiver across the board. Yes, there's some that are clearly, Pierre Garçon's a front runner. I mean, I think he's a great football player. I think there's a young kid, Nick Williams, that I think has an opportunity to be special here if given opportunity. But when I look at really the whole nucleus of that wide receiving core, I just don't see a whole lot of playmakers. And I think that you were a guy that every time your number was called, the ball was caught. Big things happened after that, and I think most fans here, will tell people the same story. Not just me as a media person, but the fan base here will say that, because people still ask me to this very day, do we keep in touch? So, yeah, man, we're going to have to make this work and get you back here and basically just have you pick up where you left off, man. Seriously.
Oh man, like I said, it'll be a great opportunity that I would take advantage of. If that works out, man. So I appreciate that. If it's meant to be, it'll happen.
All right, man. Well, look, as always, you're more than welcome to come on here at any time, and it's always a pleasure to have you come on the show.
Oh yeah, indeed, man. Thanks for having me in.
All right, folks. So, look, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, I mentioned to you as far as some NBA All-Stars, as far as, the 13 days until Sochi, do people even care about the Olympics? Real quick, Terrence, are you going to be watching the Winter Olympics?
Yeah, I will be. I just saw that Lolo Jones got selected to be a part of the bobsled team, so
yeah,
I'm going to have to check that out, man.
Man, come on now. Does anybody care about the Winter Olympics at all? It's just, I don't know, man, and I know you from Cali, and I know a lot of that X Games stuff, originated, out that way, and I just don't know if that should be part of the Olympics. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm more of a traditionalist. I want to see, the figure skating, the speed skating, the slalom skiing, but to see, now skateboarding and snowboarding, I don't know about that.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, it's got to be something for everybody. It's got to be something for everybody.
That's because there's too many professionals.
On the bright side of it, I heard there's been some talks that they might try to get football to be a part of the Olympics too in a little time from now, but in a few years.
Oh man, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Well, look, we're gonna take a break, man. But as always, Terrence, I appreciate you coming on.
Indeed, man. Thank you. All
right, folks, hang tight. We'll be right back.
If you're disabled and unable to work, pay attention to the following message.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be entitled to disability benefits through Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right if you suffer from a physical or mental disability. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. You'll be matched up with an advocate who will evaluate your situation, handle your application, deal with Social Security for you, and handle all appeals. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. To get started, call the number on your screen now. And keep in mind, there are a vast number of conditions that make you eligible for disability benefits and dozens of additions that you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call the Citizens Disability Helpline today for a free, no-obligation consultation.
Call 1-800-735-0219. Call now.
Imagine with a simple push of a button, you could be on your way to getting firm, sculpted abs and a sexy waistline with the Contour Core Sculpting System. It's the breakthrough technology that requires no machines, no getting on the floor, no stress, and no strain.
Contour. The Contour is the real deal.
The secret is Contour's exclusive auto-active muscle toning technology, the digital breakthrough that automatically targets all your abdominal muscles, including your upper abs, lower abs, obliques, and even that stubborn lower belly. Thermographic testing proves Contour activates your entire core. The Contour Core Sculpting System comes with a one-size-fits-all Contour Core Belt, electronic controller with custom digital settings, batteries, and a 1-year warranty, plus an instructional guide and sensible eating plan. And it's all yours to try for 30 days for just $14.95. There's never been an easier, more effective way to get great-looking abs. So call and order right now.
Health Insurance Update. This just in for all uninsured Americans with or without pre-existing conditions. The recent health care bill will not take effect until at least 2014, leaving families and individuals lacking health insurance with no immediate solution to their concerns. Meanwhile, medical problems continue to be the #1 cause of bankruptcies. Here's the good news. A health insurance hotline has been established to provide affordable health insurance for all uninsured Americans, and yes, uninsured Americans with pre-existing conditions. Call the number on your screen now, and in less than 10 minutes, you could receive a choice of affordable plans from the Hotline Network. This is not a discount card. You will have access to doctors, hospitals, dental care, infant care, and emergency services. Call the Health Insurance Hotline now and get you and your family covered today.
Call 800-794-1817. That's 800-794-1817. Call now.
Are you stressed over credit cards and other debts? Maybe through no fault of your own? Imagine how it would feel to have that weight lifted right off your shoulders. Well, here's some good news from America's trusted name in debt relief. Care One providers have already helped over 4.5 million people in debt, and we can help you today. Just call this toll-free number to speak with a friendly representative, and in just minutes, you'll get your free debt relief analysis.
Regardless of your situation, Care One has an option for you.
We are there to help, and we do that in a way that's empathetic and supportive without judging their financial situation.
The credit card companies, I feel, are trying to keep you in debt and trying to keep it so you owe them money forever. And Care One is a good way to get you out of that and get you out of it fast.
A big burden was lifted off of my shoulders.
Care One threw me a lifeline.
Call Care One. They will help you.
Get debt relief from a company you can trust. Just call the toll-free number today.
Debt relief.